Joining us now is Ejike Mbaka with stories trending around the world. Hello, Ejike.
Wow. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Happy Friday to you.
Are you preparing for the weekend?
I am trying.
I'm sure you have plans.
Well, I don't know if there are plans, but we'll see. Good morning.
Oji, don't let me down. I live vicariously through you.
I'll try. You know,
I need you
Friday.
out and about.
I'll try. Good morning, Rufai. How are you this morning?
How are you?
Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday to you.
Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe.
In India, 10-year-old Rahul Shau, the boy who was finally pulled from the bottom of an 80-foot well after being trapped for 5 days, is making full recovery at an intensive care unit. Rahul's rescue operation lasted 104 hours and was made complicated due to his hearing and speech impairment. In Nigeria, there are mixed reactions as the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, on Thursday named Ifeanyi Okowa, the governor of Delta State, as his running mate in the 2023 general election.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the ticket the next Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Governor Ifeanyi Arthur Okowa.
While photos and a video of the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi in Egypt learning the country's power mechanism has gone viral.
You're supplying this to the missionary grid. That's missionary grid.
Then, tributes pour in for Princess Margaret Obaigbenna, who died in London, England on Thursday, June 16, just before midnight. She is survived by 5 children, including the editor-in-chief of This Day and Arise Media Group, Prince Nduka Obaigbenna. Princess Margaret was the former chief nursing officer of the old Bendel State government and later Delta State government. She was also a senior special advisor to 3 Delta State governors. She was 88 years old. Under sports, the Golden State Warriors won the NBA championship on Thursday night, topping the Boston Celtics 103-90 for their 4th title in the last 8 seasons, and denied the Celtics what would have been their record 18th championship. Stephen Curry scored 34 points for the Warriors, advancing the team to secure the franchise's 7th championship overall.
The 4th title in 8 years. The Dubs dynasty is still very much alive.
Finally, under entertainment, Afrobeats musician Davido, in his latest interview with comedian Trevor Noah during his We Rise by Lifting Others tour in the United States, talked about how he raised 200 million naira in 72 hours after sharing his account details on social media for his 29th birthday in 2021.
So you know what I started doing? I started calling out people, like famous people, like, hey, come on, you know I gave you a hit song last year. Come on. I'm like, everybody that I've helped, whichever way. That's why this tour is called We Rise by Lifting Others. Everybody that helped in every way, just donate money to me. And it came up to, I was scared, it came up to how much? 600,000.
600,000?
600,000. And at this point, I'm like, can I keep this?
Well, let's begin what's trending. The spiritual director of the Adoration Ministry in Enugu State, Reverend Father Ejike Mbaka, made headlines on Thursday after stating during a sermon that the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi will not win the 2023 presidential election because he lacks the spirit of generosity. The cleric in his sermon, however, endorsed Nigeria's former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who he says has shown readiness to run for office because he is not running alongside Peter Obi, further stating that it is better to have a president who is a gifted old man than a stingy young man. Father Mbaka also claimed that he helped Peter Obi win his 2nd term as governor of Anambra State, but that he failed to thank God for the victory. According to him, Peter Obi will only win the forthcoming presidential election if he decides to visit the Adoration Ministry to kneel at the altar. Well, the Catholic diocese in Enugu has disassociated itself from the Reverend Father's comments, stating that they are a clear violation of the provisions of the canon law, which forbids priests from engaging in partisan politics. Dr. Abati.
Well, you know, in the past, I had written about this Father Ejike Mbaka of the Amen Adoration Ministry in Enugu. And each time he got involved in politics, the question has always been that the Catholic Church should call him to order because there's something called discipline, even within the church. And the statement that was issued by the Enugu Catholic diocese stated that Father Mbaka in this instance has violated two canons of the 1983 canon code, Canon 220 and also Canon 287. Under Canon 220, you are not allowed to harm a person's name, which he has done by calling Peter Obi a stingy man. And under Canon 287, you are not allowed to engage in partisan politics in the manner in which he does. But we're told that the diocesan bishop, Most Reverend Callistus VC Onaga, has said that canonical process will be followed. You recall the other time when the bishop tried to discipline him, he alleged that he had been abducted. We hope that he will minimize his penchant for drama, which has become a habit. The second point, of course, is that Peter Obi has received a lot of support from so many commentators, even beginning with Mrs. Ojukwu, Bianca, Mrs. Bianca Ojukwu, who pointed out from a personal experience that, you know, she likes this kind of person. As different from Father Mbaka, who says he's a stingy man, that a stingy man cannot be president of Nigeria, and that Peter Obi should come and kneel at the adoration altar. He doesn't need to go to the adoration altar to go and kneel down. The people he needs are the electorate. The people who are solidly behind them. There is a group that has emerged now of obedient Nigerians, and that is spelled OBI-DIENT. So they say they are obedient.
Yes.
You know, and I even read an article where a columnist says that Nigeria now is facing, in parts of the country, what is called obsession. In other words, that people are obsessed with Peter Obi, and you find the majority of these people, you know, carrying placards on social media defending him. One man has resigned from his lecturership position to go and support Peter Obi. One lady has left a job also to support Peter Obi. I hear some women are contemplating leaving their husbands to go and campaign for Peter Obi. I don't know how that will work out.
I don't know where you heard that.
But there is a groundswell of support for him, different from Father Ejike Mbaka, you know, soliciting, you know, from the pulpit, because it looks like soliciting. You know, in 2018, 2019, he had done a similar thing to Peter Obi. And Peter Obi was saying, okay, show me a church project and I will support. And he was carrying the microphone. He wanted him to donate money. So his adoration ministry, a money collection ministry, or, you know, a place where he's supposed to preach to both the Gentiles and the congregation. That is why he needs to be called to order.
They have done so. Since you have mentioned Bianca, Dr. Abati, in another development, Bianca Ojukwu, a former ambassador and widow of Chukwuemeka Ojukwu, the late Biafran leader, reacted to Father Ejike Mbaka's comment where he referred to Peter Obi as a stingy man. In a post on her Facebook page on Thursday, Bianca, while narrating the encounter, said his prudence with resources is something that Nigeria needs for a more humane society. According to her, when Peter Obi paid herself and her late husband a visit in Texas to attend a black tie event at the Dallas Marriott, he gave up the opportunity to buy a $3,800 Tom Ford suit for the event, but rather gave her the money to donate to her charity. How amazing is that?
I thought that was such a lovely vignette that she shared. And it just goes to show so much for that claim that there's an ideological clash between Peter Obi and his newly found home in the Labour Party. He's showing a social democratic streak right there. And the thing about it is that that's not stinginess. Stingy people have an unhealthy relationship with money and cannot bear to part with it. His sort of ethos is about what he spends the money on. And I think he's really frugal with public funds, but he's generous with his own funds, his own personal funds. And, you know, I don't see any argument with that. And if it, you know, is any comfort to anybody, one of the most famous, one of the most renowned U.S. presidents, John F. Kennedy, was notoriously stingy. Now, he was stingy. And he was a trust fund baby. He had $170 million in the bank and used to go through the White House grocery bill and argue about it. But the same JFK also donated his presidential salary to charity. So these people actually have their priorities. And they feel that there's enough for everybody's need, but not for everybody's greed. And I think that's actually commendable. And if we're going to go further with the JFK comparisons, JFK heralded a new era of Camelot, the ideals of hope, justice, equity that we need in Nigeria. So he might like that comparison.
Yes. Rufai, your comment on this story.
My special announcement to Reverend Father Mbaka out there. Please, Father, listen. He not they give she. Obi not they give she. And he will not give. How should we have a society where men of God act in this way? We can't call them out. This man, goodness me, should we go through his retinue of false prophecies? This was the same man that was predicting all whatnot. This was the same man that endorsed President Muhammadu Buhari. He did. This was the same man that said, oh, the eagle, the bird has flown away from the administration of Goodluck Jonathan. This was the same man that did all sorts, that caused a fight in his parish between his supporters and the church authority. I have said it before, men of God have no business with dabbling into politics in such a way that they now start to prophesy and force people now because they don't give them money. This is just very bad. And it smacks of hypocrisy. It's people like this that try to bring down the house of God. As a man of God, you are in a lane where people respect you. Why don't you just stay there? But because you want money all for yourself, you want to grab. And what are you going to use the money for? For your own personal, selfish means. I saw a picture of this same Peter Obi giving 100 million naira to a church. Like Tundu said, he has priority for his money. He has no right to give you money. He mustn't give you money as a man of God. Yeah. Who do you think you are? Because you're a man of God, you can come here, sit, and say all sorts to people because they don't give you money? If he needs money so much, can't he go and work? He should go and work. No, you see, this thing is sad because I think we have got to a point in society where we should say enough of all of this by so-called men of God. They should not use God to come and bamboozle us. God is not this way. God is pure. God is kind. God is good. Because what you're doing is you are putting God in a bad light. And this is heretic. This is against the gospel of Christ and freedom. This is against Christ dying on the cross of Calvary. It's an aberration to the body of Christ. And it's not about the diocese just reacting and saying we are not. They must take a tougher stand.
This is what my point is.
Once and for all.
Why can't they just take a stand?
The last time he went to fast for 30 days, he said he had repented. Obviously, he's not repented.
He's not.
I am sorry to say that I'm not in a position to judge, and God, please forgive me for judging. But with this act, it is shown that he will do it over and over again.
But you're stating facts.
I'm sorry if I judged him, but with this, it doesn't show any form of repentance. And you see, this makes people make mockery of Christianity and men of God. And that's why you see they are laughing. It's because of Father Mbaka, they are laughing at men of God in this country, which is sad.
I didn't even talk about him. What is sad about what he said, truly sad, is that a lot of people think this way. Work-shy people who have no intention of ever earning their keep. They're waiting for somebody else's largesse, and they feel entitled to it. A lot of people. It's just unfortunate that you don't want to hear that from the pulpit.
Yeah, but I thought it was quite unfortunate, that statement he made about Peter Obi coming to kneel at the altar. That's the only way he could become president.
Yeah, I don't understand this God complex. He has a God complex.
How does that work?
Is it God?
He has a God complex.
Dr. Abati, your comment
please,
about...
stop going to kneel down for pastors anywhere. If they are going to pray, let them pray for you. The Spirit of God is omnipresent, is everywhere.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Let's stop this attitude of going to kneel down in front of one pastor or the other. What is it?
Absolutely. Dr. Basi, your comment on Bianca Ojukwu.
Okay. What Mrs. Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu, what she pointed out was that on one occasion, Mr. Peter Obi was in the U.S. to visit the late Dimo Dumego Ojukwu. And it turned out that he had a black tie event.
Yeah, that's what I said.
At the Dallas Marriott in Texas. And he just discovered that he didn't bring any suit, that he brought something casual. So Mrs. Ojukwu now took him to, a store. And the available suit there was a Tom Ford suit, which was over $3,000. And the man said, why will he wear a $3,000 what was almost $4,000 actually? So he told the woman, let's go to another store, where he now saw a $220 regular suit. And that was the one, what he wore. And when he was leaving the US, Mrs. Ojukwu has a foundation. He now gave her that money, that $4,000, less the $220, and said, look, your foundation can make better use of this. Maybe it will help somebody. And in Ambassador Ojukwu's account, she pointed out that that money was used to help at least 2-3 families. And that is the kind of man that Peter Obi is. Very prudent, and that is the kind of virtue that we need in a presidential aspirant or candidate in Nigeria. Of course, some other people have given other accounts. They said on one occasion, he donated about 100 million naira to a Bishop Shanahan Maternity and Midwifery Hospital. That's his own money, not government money. So, but Father Ejike is looking for money. All these pastors who preach the gospel of prosperity, instead of teaching the people, the gospel, the doctrine. And I think the Catholic Church has tolerated him for far too long.
That's what I think. And
so why does his bishop allow this kind of conduct to continue?
The word akagom began trending after he made that comment. Akagom means stingy. So, I mean, can we
there's even a Stingy Men's Association of Nigeria. And they say that
you are not.
They say Peter Obi is the chairman.
In fact, I have just put myself in that place. If you call me stingy for spending my money on things that matter to me, please proudly call me a stingy man.
Okay.
And in fact, give everybody the form.
Okay, Rufai, a.k.a. Akagom. I love it. Well, all right. We'll take our final story in another development. A video showing a group of Southeastern Catholic priests showing off their permanent voters' cards in readiness for the 2023 general election while advocating for voters' registration is making the rounds on social media. Let's take a look.
diocese. Negotiate na anyị niile agbatago PVC maka election nke na-abịa na 2023 nọrụkwa ebe a na-ekwe nkwa na anyị ga-eme ka ndị members anyị niile gbata PVC ma soro mee election rọpụta onye ga-achị anyị ma president ma gọvanọ ma ndị senate ma the House of Representatives, ma the State House of Assembly, anyị ga-eme nke a dịka ụmụ Nigeria n'aha nke Nna na nke Ọkpara na nke Mmụọ Nsọ anyị niile asị ana m adọ unu niile aka na ntị na unu ga-eme ka ndị members anyị mmadụ niile ka ha gbata PVC bido taa ruo Ọgọst 1 ka onye ọbụla wee gbata nke ya ruo n'Ọgọst 1 onye ọbụla na-agbataghị PVC ama mbata chọọchị anyị ruo mgbe ọ gbatara ya otu a ka ọ ga-adị ọkwụnụ kwetara.
I think this is such a great movement.
Yes.
It's almost a revolution, Tundu. It's begun.
I think it's wonderful, but it also makes me a bit sad to see, because priests, let's face it, are going through an existential crisis here in Nigeria.
Yes.
It's one of the most dangerous occupations all of a sudden. Every other week you hear a story of how a member of the clergy has been abducted, has been killed. So this is literally fighting for their lives.
Absolutely.
And it's so sad that it has come to this.
I like the way that you put that together. Yeah. Rufai.
I mean, Sundu, you said it better. Week in, week out. Priests are not paying ransom. The state of play in the nation is nothing to write home about. We're hearing diesel prices might increase up to over 1,000 naira per litre. That's what we're hearing. The economic index is not looking any better. Inflation over 17%. You know, I was with some people yesterday, and they told me that the price of chicken, that every time they go to the market and they buy, I think, 1 kilo of chicken, that in the last 4 weeks, the price keeps increasing by 700 naira every week. 700 naira, 700 naira, 700 naira. So the price they had 4 weeks ago is like twice. What they will use to buy like a kilo or 2 kilos is like twice the price they will use to buy. So price of things are astronomical. So when they even say inflation number is 17%, it's way more than that. It's deeper than that. People are skipping meals in Nigeria. There's a lot of crime.
Yeah.
And the only way we can change things for ourselves is to go out there to get your PVC.
Yes.
And I'm happy that priests are leading.
Yes.
I want everybody across board to go. This election is not like any other election.
Yes.
Nigerians have suffered too much.
Very quickly, just as this priest from Eha Amuzu village in the Isuzo local government area of Enugu State are mobilizing the congregation to vote. They themselves have their PVCs. And just as they are saying, and the parish in Plateau State is also saying that if you don't have your PVC, don't come to church.
Yes.
Because this is about civic responsibility. So it's good to see the church also mobilizing. But I mentioned the Enugu State specifically because this Father Mbaka that we were discussing earlier on is also in this same Enugu State.
And
so while he is soliciting for money, doing Babianla, with the pulpit, you have these other priests, who are promoting civic responsibility. And it's most appropriate to go back to Mbaka that over 130 persons have unfollowed him on Twitter. I hope he knows that and he pays attention to it. But I share the view that 2023 is going to be a major election.
Yes.
And it's good for everybody to be mobilized. And I hope that in line with this, INEC would give more than enough room and opportunities for those who do not have their PVC yet to be able to get those PVCs.
Yes, because we have seen those videos circulating of all these young people going out to vote. They really want to vote, so they need to be afforded that opportunity.
Thank you very much, Ejike.
Great analysis. I hope you guys have a great weekend.
You too.
That's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you all next week.